I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. And I wish I could say all the things I like to say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear for the whole round world to hear.
We're not saying at all that there should not be some reasonably calculated health and safety measures in a pandemic. What we are saying is, if you're going to apply one set of standards to churches, then let us have these other activities which are even more compliant than the churches. Let at least.
We basically find ourselves in somewhat of an unintentional position of becoming a test case on behalf of helping our First Amendment right as performing artists in our industry here in San Francisco.
Nkichi, thank you also for being a named plaintiff in this lawsuit as an individual artist. That was really important for so many reasons, and your bravery does not go unnoticed by me. And I know my colleagues would say the same.
Because aquí en this United States, they say language is free. But aquí en this United States, is it free to speak any language?
We wanted to tell you that COVID-19 in mid-March absolutely shut down the American theater, and we are nothing but American theater artists. We were on stage at Berkeley Repertory Theater doing a wildly successful show, 8 shows a week, 700 people a night, and then the show gets shut down and we get sent home, and we were wondering, like everyone else, how we were going to feed our children, how we were going to make a living.
Another episode of The Mex-Men. Mighty mutated Mexicans transformed by toxic waste dumped by American factories in a small Mexican village. Orange Man, with the power to sell oranges by the bushel on any freeway on ramp. Busboy Man, with the amazing ability to balance a load of heavy restaurant dishes and live on lousy tips. And finally, Leaf Blower Man, whose left arm is a mighty wind machine.
Queers everywhere. Even at the dimly lit pool tables in the back, Lavender marveled at the prospect of a lesbian bar they didn't know, and one that served burgers no less. It didn't look new. It certainly didn't smell new. 6 queers deep in a game of pool, but Lavender could only see the woman in red. The velvet-clad femme lined up her cue, winked at Lavender, and made the shot.
We're all connected, you know. And artists are the gasoline behind the cultural engine, you know, regardless to what they may say to us, go away, whatever, make art where you find it, create spaces for making art. It's one of the things I'd say to younger people.
I will say this is a especially tough time, you know, but I think, you know, it's gotten me through the 80s in San Francisco and Oakland. It's gotten me, I mean, that was crazy. So we can get through that, we can get through anything.
I am not surprised, but I can still be heartbroken. I find it hard to breathe, and the breath leads the word. I'm weary, not yet beaten, and make no mistake, some of us will not be silenced.
The threat to the Bill of Rights has never been higher since we became a national homeland that worships at the church of corporate greed, prostrates itself at the altar of military indulgence, and takes communion from the chalice of stolen oil. This land is your land, this land is my land, and this secured homeland has become a private trust where democracy is turned to a strangled voice, unable to utter without stutter, often forgetting its point, afraid to speak out clearly and loudly for liberty, for justice, for freedom, for all.
Are to a man and to a woman prohibited from telling the truth at the heart of the murders, the injustices, the inequities that all Blacks and Browns feel every day in this country. And that truth is that the evil and vicious decadent and religiously money-making dimension of injustice is the system of capitalism itself.
If the artists are silent, believe me, we're in trouble. If the artists are silenced, and it just happens really casually. It's like, oh yeah, there was a global pandemic, so we just shut everything down, including the artists, meanwhile back at the ranch. And so this is actually definitely very valuable for us to be carrying forward. So I just want to kind of evoke and remind us that this freedom of speech, freedom to actually start to, let's say that we're in a society that we start to notice things through art. You start to express, hey, that's a little strange, and so it's very important that we are able to gather for the sake of art, for the sake of protest, for the sake of, freely speaking out to the powers that be in whatever direction we want to. So I really, really want to say thank you guys for your support.